Hello sweet friends, this is Gina. Welcome to the Rebookery channel. Today I'm going to walk you through some of the spreads that I have done in my Days of Summer journal. I'm not completely finished. There is a lot of stuff I still want to document, especially about our trip to Colorado and then 4th of July and things like that, but it's getting quite full, and so I thought I would share with you guys what I have so far. I also wanted to show you guys the 6 journals that I will be putting in my shop tomorrow, which is going to be July 28th. It's a Sunday. I'll put them in at noon. They are the 6 weather journals that are the companions to the 6 that I sold earlier in the week. And in fact, I'll just go ahead and show them to you, and then we'll do the flip through. So I just finished up the covers last night, and I have not bound them yet, so I still need to do that today. So they are basically the exact same style, same papers, everything. There is one difference. I ran out of the rodeo storybook pages, and so like I had these storybook pages in a couple of them. All 6 of the ones that sold earlier have them, but only 2 of them, I think, have them, or maybe 3. 3 of them have them here. The other book I pulled from is actually super, super cute. Let me see if I can find one really quickly. There we go. It's a Paul Bunyan book, and the illustrations are amazing. The blue of Blue the Ox is just, oh, it is so cute. So I added that because it had a lot of scenery, and there were pictures of clouds and mountains and sunshine and trees and stuff, and so I felt like that kind of lent itself to the theme of these journals, which is kind of the weather theme. Okay, so here we go. Here are the 6 covers that I have this time. So this is greenhouse, and then this is like a teal green roof, and then this is, look at that zigzag trim right there, that rickrack. It's nice and thick. This one is dark blue house with, like, these are some red poppies or daisies for the roof. So you can see there's the back. Sorry, I didn't show you the back of this one. And I'm still using that Dorothy's Journey fabric, and then there's a pocket on the inside, and then this side is left blank for you to do and glue and stuff. This is like a fabric type of a wallpaper, so you could glue, you could add. I was thinking about, if one of these doesn't sell, I'm going to keep one for myself, and I was thinking about, I would just load this page up with stickers, but you could do whatever it is you want with your journal. This one is yellow house, red roof, and here's the back. Again with the messy stitches, and I did a little bit of some messy green stitches. A couple of these have messy green stitches. The other ones have messy black stitches. This is green house, and then this is like a yellow groovy fabric for the roof. So yellow flowers. We'll call it green fabric, greenhouse, yellow flowers, and there's a little patch back here. And remember, these are made with wallpaper samples, so this was stuff that was going to go to the trash, and actually these literally were, this book of these fabric wallpaper samples was headed to the trash, and I was like, hey, are you gonna get rid of those? And they're like, yeah. I said, well, could I take them off your hands? And they've been sitting for a while, and then I was like, they would be the perfect, when I started doing fabric journals, I was like, they would be the perfect substrate for my fabric and stuff, because they are flexible, but yet they are sturdy enough to, you know, like keep its shape. So yeah, I love them. And again, it just kind of goes with the whole repurposed and junk thing. This one is blue house, yellow roof. And then there's the stitching on the back and the pocket in the front. And then the last one, red house and blue roof. And then there you go. And there's the back. So these 6 will be in my shop tomorrow, Sunday, July 28th at noon. And then I'm going to close my shop up, guys. I'm going to close it up for probably a couple of months. Look for it to open back up in October because I got to get my classroom ready for my little babies. Okay, so there's the journals. A lot of this I've already done videos on. Make sure I'm in frame here. So this is my piece of my wrapping paper. This is the one piece I saved for myself, so I put it in here because I am going to use it on a spread. So video I've done, video I've done, video. Okay, so here's where we start with the trip. So this was the back of, if you remember, I used the book jacket to 100 Dresses. And so this is the back of that, and that's where I started the day of our trip. So using the dictionary page again, with using that as like my text or my context, and making it consistent as I go throughout this journal. So I just put some stamps here, and then here was my, we'll fold out, make sure I get the whole thing in here. Here was my first actual spread. So what I did was I just took 2 of the pages from this book, The Creative Crafts, glued them together. I think you've seen me do that in a couple of videos. And then on this side, I had a map of Kansas, and I just drew I-70. And then I didn't have a lot of journaling because it was just a lot of driving that day. So I put dictionary text for rain, for grass, for cow, and for windmill, because those were the things that stuck out on that day. So then here is the back side of that. So I felt like if I had a page for Kansas with a map, I needed a page for Colorado. This is a map of Colorado. And again, I just put the dictionary text, so bed, bathtub, because we had a hot tub. And it was our own hot tub. We didn't have to share it with anybody else. Rock, because there were so many gorgeous rocks. Dinner and meat. So we were famished by the time we got to our cabin, and so my husband's like, I'm gonna run down to the grocery store, I'll get us some dinner, I'll be right back. So he brought back steak and french fries and bread, and I tell you what, it was the most delicious meal I've ever had in my life, and I ate the entire thing. I might have even licked the plate, I'm not for sure. But we were so tired and we were so hungry, and it was just, yeah, it was amazing. So here's just some little photos that I printed out. But then remember, I was taking along that Colorado user's guide from like 1976 or whatever. And so I cut some pictures out of it and put that in here. So just some animals that we saw. And then this, I think I posted this one on Instagram. So we actually, when we were in Estes Park, we stayed right down the street from the hotel that was in The Shining. And so here it is right here. And this was actually taken from the visitor's guide, because the thing is that it's really built up, and there's parking lots, and they've created this entire compound, so you really can't get a good like picture. So this was the picture I tried to get. We drove by like 3 times. This was the picture I tried to get, and then I just found this in that visitor's guide, and I was like, oh, forget it, I'll just put that in there. So yeah, that was kind of creepy. And you can take tours, and I'm like, no thank you, I'm not taking a tour of that. The movie was scary enough. Okay, so this is where we went just walking around, and then these are just some photos, and this was, I'll take this one out. This was that it was like a Time Life. I think it actually was an insert that was in another book, and I said, oh, I'll just take this with me. And so I just taped it. It was a fold out. I just taped it, stuck some pictures on here. This was actually just walking around where our cabin was. And then on the back, this was, again, more pictures of us just walking around where our cabin was. And yeah, this was, we had a river like right outside of our cabin, so we slept with the windows open, and you could just hear the water rushing. It was Fall River, and so it was just constantly rushing. It was a very, very fast river. So anyway, just taking some pictures, stuck that on there. This was a hike that my husband did, because where we stayed was at the bottom of this mountain called Old Man Mountain, and he actually climbed the entire thing. So this is a map that I cut out, and I drew a little circle around where we were. These were just some stickers that I had, just some old stickers that I had that I thought went with it. This was just some lettering I cut out. There's a picture of my husband. And then when we went into Estes Park, there was actually, you can get these, for people that live in the mountains and stuff, you know this, but there's patches, and each time you climb a mountain or you do a hike, you can get a patch, and it's like a, you know, a badge of honor. And so there was one for Old Man Mountain, so we got it, and I just stuck it on here. And then this is the back, more pictures that my husband was taking as he climbed the whole thing, and just there's a dictionary text right there. So then here's a page of me trying this, and so there's a little flap right there. And I need to add, I was going to add some journaling and stuff here, but I haven't done that yet. This was an old postcard that I had just sewed on. This was a view that he had from the top. And then, so here's me trying it. He tried it first, and then I was like, okay, I'll try it. So we were just taking pictures of each other. This is an envelope, and then I just stuck some journaling right here, and then that's just a flap. And we just put like little captions. I didn't put a lot of journaling on this, just a little bit of captions. I used some stickers that I had, and this one is saying, "You can do it." And no, I couldn't. I got to the base of the mountain, which was a trek all in itself, and then it was rock climbing, and I couldn't do the rock climbing. It freaked me out. It was sheer vertical, and I couldn't. Yeah, part of the problem was I looked down, and you're not supposed to look down, but I did. Okay, so over here on this side, this is some of the book page that it looks like I just glued it to the pages that came with the binder, the crafts binder. And then this was a postcard that I had sewed in, so I made it into a pocket. And so here's a picture of me, and then it says "not so easy." And then this is just a fold out of pictures that we took as we were climbing, or as I was attempting to climb, some stickers I used, and then me at the base of the mountain, because that's about as far as I could go. And I know it doesn't seem like that's very high up, but really it was extremely high up. And this is a page from that, like I said, that 1975 visitor's guide that I had for Colorado. So this, I just tore the whole page out, and then I folded it in half, and this became my journaling for this. And this was just some book page that I had. I did really good about using the supplies that I had on hand, because there were times where, especially when we went to the other side of Denver and we were over in Fraser, there was one whole day where it snowed, and so he just laid and did his thing on the couch, and I sat in the kitchen, which was right next to the living room, and I did my thing. I spread out on the whole countertop, and I got several of these things done. I even took my printer with me, so I was able to print pictures. So I stuck to my supplies, which I was pretty happy. So this was a page, and you can see this is just the back of the craft pages. This was a page of us taking pictures of all the flowers, and because the hike took us so long, because we kept stopping and taking pictures of flowers. So here's dictionary page. Oh guys, the sun is going to come up, and I'm going to have a wonky shadow here, so sorry. We'll just muddle through and try to do the best we can. And so then here are pictures that we took, and just some really cool tree roots and stuff, and we just kept saying to each other, okay, no more pictures, no more pictures, and then we turn around and take another picture. So this was one of those times where I was, hang on, looks like we're stuck here. There we go. This was one of those times where I was limited to just the supplies that I had. So this was that book of Colorado. It wasn't the visitor's guide, it was the other book that I took that had like Kansas, Iowa, Colorado in it. And then I just took this page out because I loved this scene right here. So over here, I struggled. I was like, what? I want to put some journaling or something here, but I couldn't come up with what I wanted to say. So what I did was I took all the brochures and the maps and everything from the places we had visited, and I just cut out words. And this took me quite a while to figure out what words I wanted. I just cut out words that meant something, and it ended up and became my journaling. So I love how this turned out, because this is not my artwork, but yet it portrays the message, because this is what it was like. Now this is vintage, but still this is what it was like. And then here's all the words that came to my mind. Yeah, I love that, love that, love that. Okay, so then here's the back side. I wanted to put, again, more pictures of those wildflowers. So here are the photographs of wildflowers and mosses and lichens and stuff. And then this page was actually a page from the book called Colorado Flora and Fauna, which I thought was perfect. And then I cut out pictures from that Colorado Visitor's Guide of the actual flora and fauna and stuck those on there. So this is a combination of a book page, the visitor's guide, and my own photographs. And then these are the little dictionary pages. So yeah, and I love this because this is a little hint of them in a pool, and this is a Jeep with the mountains, and that just kind of, yeah, that's just it. We didn't do that, but it's still kind of cool to have that in as part of my story. Okay, so this is where it got tricky. I needed a sewing machine, and I wanted a sewing machine so bad, but I didn't have one because we were in the mountains and I didn't bring it with me. So I had to get creative. And so what I did was I taped postcards together. So you can see this is a postcard, this is a postcard, this is a postcard, and they're vintage postcards. I think, yeah, these were all vintage postcards. So they were ones I had in my stash. And then I also, we went to a 5 and dime store. I think I showed you guys in my thrift haul video. And she had some old postcards. So that's a couple of these. And this was cool because this was a postcard of Estes Park, which was actually, this place was right down from where we were. So again, just pictures from that field guide. Actually, these are stickers. And then dictionary, my photographs, the postcards, a little bit of journaling, and then I am a sticker freak, and so every time we would go into a store I would buy stickers, and yeah, I can't stop. Okay, so picture of Estes Park, and this was a long time ago because it doesn't look like that anymore. So that's just a photo, a nice little postcard there that I can flip up. And then this was a piece of paper that I got from a saltwater taffy shop, which there were a lot of them, but this one I loved, and so I just actually made the journal page this. I put some photographs on there because we're candy freaks, and so we got some candy. I put candy wrappers on there, took a picture of the old time candy, and yeah, so there you go. I love that. That's just kind of that's just a collage of all the things. This was a water bottle I bought, a sticker from it, and yeah, this just kind of shows our day as we went to downtown Estes Park. Okay, I took some watercolors with me. So I tried, when we actually went to Fraser, which was a lot more laid back than Estes Park, I took my time and I tried to do some painting of just things that I saw. So this was just me playing around with paints. I didn't actually see flowers or anything like this, but this was just me playing around, and this is an envelope, so hadn't really finished that, just kind of left it in here. This was a picture of out our window. So out our window you could see like there were some houses and stuff, and of course guys, my skills are so basic, and it just was a whole bunch of mountains, and then there were snow-capped mountains, and so this was me attempting to draw this and watercolor it. And I know it looks like a third grader did it, but you know what? I am so proud of this because this is a huge accomplishment for me. So yeah, so I love that. And this was just a piece of cardstock that I did this on. Okay, the next one, this was one of the thicker like index pages that came with this binder. So this is a picture of going through the Rocky Mountain National Park. This is an old postcard, so I used that. again with the stickers because I can't stop. And then what I did with this was I took the map that we got of Rocky Mountain National Park and I cut up parts of it and stuck that in as my journaling and stuck that in as, like, you know, giving descriptions and stuff of things that we saw and blah, blah, blah. So that's that side. On the back side, I just put a map. So this was the map that we got. I just cut it out. And then I traced our trail because some of the trails were still, or some of the roads were still closed. So I just traced what we actually did. And funny story, 2 days after we did this, they actually closed a big chunk of this, like you could not drive through anymore because of snow. So we actually went at the perfect time and it was an amazing trip. Okay, so this is me doing another watercolor attempt. All right, so here we go. We were over here in Fraser, which is right next to Winter Park, and we went over to Idaho Falls. And it's like 25 miles, but it is the hardest 25 miles because you go up into the mountains and then you go all the way back down into the mountains. To the bottom of the mountains. So I wanted to draw that because you can't just take a picture of that. It's just too hard to take a picture of that. So I sat down one morning and just started drawing what in my mind that journey was like, and I watercolored it, and there was a waterfall that we took a picture next to. Here's the river that goes right, or it's actually, they call it a creek, but it goes right next to Idaho Falls, the town, and yeah. So this was my attempt to try to recreate that. And again, very rudimentary skills, but I'm super, super proud of this because I look at this and I can visualize what we did. This reminds me of what we did. And here's the thing, you know what? I don't care if somebody wants to criticize this or say anything bad about it, because the thing is, a true artist wouldn't criticize someone else's work, wouldn't say, oh yeah, that's good, but because a true artist knows that this is that artist's interpretation, and this is what that artist remembers or saw or wants to tell about that story. And so I'm okay. Haters gonna hate, that's totally fine, because in my heart of hearts, I know this is what I saw, so I'm all right with that. And so yeah, love it, love it, love it. Okay, this is obviously a page that I have not finished, but in case you had forgotten how I set up my papers, remember I had done a whole bunch of this stuff before we actually went on our trip. So this is a big day right here, and I want to do journaling, and this is actually where I'm going to use that cloud, the wrapping paper. This was the day that we just sat and chilled all day long, and so yeah, I'm kind of excited. I got to do those days, which here's the cool thing about setting this up beforehand. Even though it's blank and, you know, it's just got the date and stuff on it, it reminds me, oh yeah, I need to go back and do those dates. And so I'm feeling the love on that. It makes me want to go back and finish these up. Okay, you've seen a video on this. So this was the stars that I saw, and again, my interpretation of the stars. This was the hike, and we actually did this hike on the Saturday over here. So, but this was the hike we took and how I looked up in the sky and saw stars in a different way. This was Monday, which I actually have to go get pictures developed for this because we had a water camera. So, and then this was the day that we also decided, as soon as we got off the river, we were going to drive home. Oh, the sun is coming through and it's going to put a wonky glare on here. So this is a picture from that old, like, atlas book that I've been using, the Kansas, Iowa, and Colorado one. I want to use this page, and here's why. Because here's the mountains, and then here is just these fields, and to me this is how it felt like when we were leaving Colorado, is I just kept looking behind, looking at the mountains until I couldn't see them anymore. So I want to use this page in here because that symbolizes like when we were leaving and how sad I was. And this was our drive home, and this was the last process video that I did, and I just love that. And so here's the back side of it, and so you can see how I pieced together the papers. And that's pretty much it for the trip. I need to finish those up. Here's another page that I haven't done. This was just where I kept a bunch of things like our grocery list, and this was an old postcard, so I've got that I can still use. I've got the time card for the time zones, see if I can incorporate that somewhere. And then here are the pages that I like. I put these together, but I just never really had a need for them. But that's okay, because there's some pages this summer that I want to add to the book, like 4th of July and a couple little road trips that my husband and I have had, a couple little projects we've done around the house that I documented, and so these pages will be perfect for that. All right, kiddos, I think that is good. There you go. There's a flip through of Days of Summer. I hope you guys got some inspiration today. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're healthy and happy and you do something creative. Don't forget tomorrow, the last of my journals for this summer, and there will be 6 of these weather journals. They are kind of like a notebook style because I am mimicking the whole composition book journaling. That's why I kept it simple, and I kept it not so bulky and just, you know, basically pages, because I wanted to, I don't know, I was thinking fondly of when I used to use composition books and how simple they are. So that's why I kept these guys simple, and they will be in my shop at noon on July 28th, and then my shop will be closing for a while. All right, my friends, I shall talk to you soon. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.